pressure are you under to provide more dividend to the government whose coffers are kind of like depleting?
Actually, as far as our shareholders are concerned, we are very grateful that they're very responsible shareholders. So whatever amount that we agree on will not impact our operational requirements, if there are any financial commitments, and also our growth strategy. So, I'm grateful that, we've got a very responsible shareholder.
Are you under pressure to return more to the government?
Like any companies, we try to create maximum value for the shareholders. But what's important, I think, is that, our business model, our business growth plans are not jeopardized.
Do you see the need at some point to sell assets, to raise funds, to help the finances of the government?
I don't think we've come to that point yet.
I want to touch on Saudi Aramco. It really caught the world's attention. What are some of the key takeaways from that IPO, you think?
It is a very progressive company. I think it also, it has been preparing for this IPO for some time, and I think it has been a successful exercise for them.
Okay. Let's speak about the focus here in Davos. There's a lot of talk on climate change, sustainability. Being in the oil business, there's tremendous pressure to take action. Talk to us about how Petronas is making that transition to cleaner and renewables.
A few things that I'd like to point out. Firstly is, the energy demand is growing. And my view is that we should develop all forms of energy. So oil and gas and other energies as well, including renewable energy. So early last year, we announced our new statement of purpose for Petronas. So it reads like, to be a progressive energy and solutions partner, enriching lives for a sustainable future. I think what I like to point out, the word oil and gas is not there. So, this is our new statement of purpose. And as a result of that, we are really looking at our portfolio. So at our portfolio, and this year, we have allocated around about 5% of our Capex for renewable energy, for new energy, which is solar and wind. So I think this is part of future-proofing the organization because, this energy transition, as what many call, actually to me is just an additional energy requirement instead of a transition. I still believe oil and gas will still play a major role, but will be complemented by other forms of energy.
You talk about rising demand. Where do you see this rise in demand from?
In our region, in Asia, in the Far East, gas demand for the next 5 years, we think it'll be around about 3.5 to 4% every year. And, China is a big contributor to the demand. Indeed, will be in the Far East.
We're seeing tensions between the US and Iran. Is that impacting your operations in Iraq?
We have 3 blocks in Iraq. Today, it has not impacted our operations, but we are closely monitoring in the event. If there's any escalation of risks, of course, the safety of our staff is a priority.
So what safeguards are you putting in place? And at what point would you make an exit?
Oh, yes. There are signposts that we watch out for. And we are also in communication with other operators in the area. So, we are always up to date on what's happening on a daily basis. I get daily reports from you.
You're an oil man, so I can't let you go without asking you for your projection for oil. I mean, oil prices have swung between, 28 to 122. What is the sustainable oil price, do you think, in 2020? I forget what year this is.
It's 2020. We don't predict oil price. But what we do is we use basis for our planning purposes. And we take a long-term view. And as you know, as we've discussed before, we are very conservative in Petronas as far as planning is concerned. So for this year, our planning basis will be in the high 50s.